Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome back to another installment of the Quickview series. Welcome back to another installment in the insanity that is the Ash Ketchum of Gotta Catch 'em All. And it's GMade. We're deep in the GMade trenches. As of right now, where I stand, where you sit. We have tested the 1901, the 1902, the 1904, the 1905. Today you'd think 1903, but no, you were wrong! I was waiting for batteries to charge for doing another video. And I said, oh, perfect time to mount tires. No such thing as downtime. If one thing is happening, we're going to do another thing waiting for that thing to finish. I'm still covered in simple green from trying to make these look remotely presentable. GMade Bighorn 2.2. Big old balloony kind of throwback. This sort of 2.2. And what do they claim there? 136? 136 by 59. We will see. As GMade has been very good, matter of factly, about whatever's on the sidewall. That's pretty much the size that the tire is. Also very GMade. There's your foam. So I went like this, and I went around through whatever. Oh look, it's a regular foam now. I went around through my supply trying to find something, and I can't. This is not a medium. This is a soft. And 136 by 59 is not a wildly common size. So we run what they came with, and when you put them in there, they are soft. As I mentioned, you can still kind of see it. It looks like they're dusty. That's not dust. These have just been hanging on a peg over there and chalking is what I call it. The outsides of them had basically turned off-white. I don't think I can adequately express how soft these foams are. So maybe there's something to it. Also, this is a no bubble juice required operation by like a lot. The bead lip is not big, but the diameter of it matches the beadlock mounting ring very well. I had no issues whatsoever mounting the other three. And then I'm hoping that the Bighorn doesn't pull red light fever on us and have this one go awry. We seem to be doing okay. In terms of mountability, 2.2s are almost, without exception, easier to mount than 1.9s. They just go right on. These are no exception. And when fitted with a mushy, squishy foam, as these are. Mushy and squishy, but not wildly oversized. Mounting the Panther Cougar, the venerable Panther Cougar, was a little more difficult because the foam in a Panther Cougar, when you have it out of the tire, it looks like it's double the size of the tire. You really got to stuff that in there. But, like, I don't know. Also, okay. If you haven't been keeping up, if this is your first GMade Quickview viewing, let me know in the comments, how did you end up here? Was it just Bighorn? Were you drawn in by were you looking for Bighorns? Because these are cheap. These are cheap. I want to say $15.99 a pair, something like that when I bought these. These have been sitting over on a hook for a long time. Probably 2 years. I don't even 100% recall buying them. I just remember I bought them because they were very, very inexpensive. And there is hope, because the first thing I did was clean them up. I mounted the others, then I mounted this one, and I was like, Starsky, that's what we want to hear. We don't want to hear, wait, where's a hustler? Where's a hustler? In case anyone has forgotten. That's bad. See, just sounds scratchy. What else just sounds scratchy? See? very different tones. But this is, you know what? It might work. I would also like to point out my somewhat unique ventilation system. You'll notice the 2-hole ventilation. And you might say, well, that's an unusual process. What made you opt for 2 double ventilation? Pretty easy. The other 3 were all mounted up and fitted to the vehicle just like this. I had kept the 4th one aside for mounting, so it hadn't been mounted up yet. And then I looked and I noticed, yeah, see these. See, like we've been driving through snow or sand. This one, like the chalk. Whee! The chalk is coming back already. I looked at the 4 of them and I went like this and I went, oh no. We had failure to ventilate. So I just took the leather punch and just squeezed it like that and just pa-dunk. Honestly, this might just be the way I vent tires going forward. I have no problem with 2 holes side by side. Also, these, dang it, you were supposed to remind me. Also, these have my biggest point of worry is they have a rib. If I pinch it, you see? There's like a rib of rubber that runs down the middle from where they mush the 2 halves together when they're in the mold. So the holes are basically on the 2 sides of that rib. There it is. See that thickness right there? The rubber is like quadruple thickness through that little band right there. Will that impact? Well, who knows? I don't think it will help. What did we say, 136 by 59? I've got 133, which is not quite 5 1/4. 5 3/16 over here in the Freedom units. By 59, it is actually, I would call that 56 1/2. So we'll round up and we'll call it 57. So these are actually slightly undersized from what GMade has called them. I am cautiously optimistic. I am not optimistic at all about the 1903s based on prior experience gleaned from testing the 1901s and the 1902s. As the numbers go higher, the tires get better. Right? The 1905 is the best. The 1904 is the second best. The 1903 is yet to be determined. TBD. The 1902 and the 1901 are, it seems unfair. It seems not descriptive enough yet to call them dismal. They are absolutely horrendous. But we have something stepping outside the normal naming conventions. These are not the numbered thing. They are bighorns. They are definitely what I would classify as like a masher? Like a monster truck tire. This is a monster truck tire, and that may well be soft enough. What it feels like when we do this is Dollar General Panther Cougars. The compound does not feel remotely as good. The foam does not feel remotely as good. But there is still that. There's a hint of it. There's a hint of it. And if we can grasp a hold of something, we will grasp a hold of that. I mean, I don't know, right? Like, okay, do you see what I'm saying? If this is not your first time here and you've seen the 1901s and the 1902s, you can understand my potential for excitement. This might actually be a tire. Like, it might actually do a thing. I know. Temper those expectations. Don't get too hyped up. But to the course to find out what will be, a relative level of disappointment. Now, I do want to make sure that I feel like I've clearly outlined my expectations. I don't think that this is going to be a remarkably good tire. I don't even think that this is going to be an explicitly good tire. I just think it won't be as bad as the most recently tested GMade tires, the 1901 and the 1902, which are bad to a level not merely unforgivable, but inexplicable. Like, how do you set out to make a tire and fail so completely and absolutely? That right there, what you just saw, I'm swinging it around town. It is going to be an angry Lexan noise day. I warn you now. Okay, when we come up here, this is a near perfect entry. We get right here, that passenger front should have well more than enough grip to pull this ledge. And even if we go very slowly, can we come on, get up? Nope. Come on, little fella, come on. Get a little bit more of that main lug. Okay, now we're gonna slide under the beam. You just hear a lug go like grr, grr, grr. Okay, slide it around a little bit. Slide it around a little bit. Okay, a little more throttle in. Okay, but not my line. It's not my line. Ooh, even on the descending, like significantly more slippage than I would anticipate. I'm trying not to turn full tight. We're trying to keep the noises down a little bit. How about the pull here? A little shuttle, a little more throttle. All right, okay, you know what, okay, all right. I was hoping that maybe a little bit of use would rough them in a little bit. Nope, not coming around. Okay, up through here. 133 is fairly big, so it should pull the front end through, no problem there. They make use of the steering angle. That looks fine. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Unintentional and pretty cool. Come around this side. We'll see how we pull on the brake over. Separating front and rear axles. Not great. So where we are now. It's tough to make a determination here at the first obstacle set, the first test point. But what it's looking like here, and I'm hoping that a little bit of negging will get the tire fired up and provoke it to prove me wrong. What we're seeing is that lower mid-end, like above a 90, but below a 95. Will we get above that 93? Honestly, I don't think so. In most aspects of here, what I saw at Slick Rock, it would prompt me to give the tire about an 8.8. But we did pretty okay in one spot there. The wraparound looked nice. I'm gonna go an 8.9. I can't go as high as a 9 here. We have seen tires do somewhat poorly in outright forward drive and do pretty well overall. We will see where these end up. So on the one hand, we have a positive to take away. Not remotely as bad as the 1901, 1902. But I also think we're not going to see a level of traction that would make me say, yes, this is an option to consider parallel to, much less above anything else. Okay. like an anthill right where I set the bucket. That push is so bad. That is an absolute shame. That is an absolute shame. There's no mechanical right here. Nothing is touching except tire and gnats. Okay, the dig looked okay. Get. Okay, all right. Oh my God, the gnats! Okay. That was a little better. I just boxed my own ear. But I think I also killed the gnat that was repeatedly trying to go inside of that ear. So, oh my God. That was dismal. So we've got nothing resembling a surplus of forward drive, and the sidewall stability is worse. Okay, now I'm going to be cognizant of it. Oh, that slide away. Is it the tread is too sparse? Show me. All right. No. Okay. No. Yes, no. Yes. No. Yeah. No. All right. Permiso. So what we've got here is bad business. Very slippery, almost like they're greasy. Rock temperature should be low. That point in the side hill has not been touched by the sun yet today. So they will be overnight cool. And we're getting that over squash, but then when we get to the transition here, absolutely solid. That's a question mark. Daphne's line, I had landed on a 9.1. And you know what? I'm absolutely fine with a 9.1 here at the side hill as well, because unpredictable, more predictable in the chop than on the smooth, which is, I mean, at the very least counterintuitive. It is my understanding that eye hole and ear hole bugs, flies and gnats and whatnot, mosquitoes as well, they go for CO2, and apparently we're just emitting it out of our face holes. Like, how much CO2 is coming out of my ears? Am I a slowly deflating balloon? It's right ear. Do I only emit CO2 from my right ear? Am I not firing on all cylinders? Please let that be a rhetorical question. It's not awful. It's not good. It's something in between. We'll bump through. Yeah, like that right there. That felt fine. This is a tire that, yes, I can kind of maybe see a purpose for this. I think that they would respond on a different insert with more weight on them. I think they need more PSI. They are a kind of a weird size. Like if you say you had a trailer that you're towing something on, and that trailer is pretty big because you have like a full-size rig on it, I think you would want a tire that looks just like, or behaves like this one but is smaller. So we've looped back around to nowhere again. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to justify in my head what this tire might be good for. Because I definitely don't know what that is yet. That was solidly okay. And then we just push and mush. Okay, that was fine. All right. I will be particularly brief here at Oblivion. This is apparently the Gnat headquarters of the Western Hemisphere. Is that right? Northern Hemisphere, Southern Hemisphere. Northern Hemisphere? I have too many bugs inside my head right now. We sound like a sinking pirate ship. Okay, that's a bonus. That's a bonus 10th easily for the pirouette, the one-wheeled dig pirouette. No, don't do it. Ooh, ooh. Pull it through. Pull it through. Get through. Still standing? Nice. That was solidly okay. That was solidly okay. Fighting the gnats and the ants simultaneously, that wasn't bad at all. Oh, I never wrote down. That was a 9.2 at the beast. I'm gonna go all the way to a 9.4 for that. That was good. That was pretty good. Pretty good right there. Now we've got the trio. The trio. I kind of want to see bump more than anything at the trio. I'm not positive about Daphne's. I'm trying to think in terms of like average point variance. Like basically it's 5 to 9.8. And we get tires basically if you're up around a 3-point range between best and worst score, like if we were discarding best and worst, that's pretty bad. The closer those numbers are in general, the better. We got a 0.5 point variance so far, which is better than many. Oh. Not bad. Not bad. It's surprising me. It's surprising me. Okay, so right here, that should be a no bump pull right there. You have to give it way too much throttle. My hands smell of those tires terribly. And I keep having to put my hands near my face because of the gnats. Let's see what we got. Yeah, the bump is, for a tire that has a lot of chevron to it, the tire is one of the most unpredictable that I've seen. And to get a functional bump out of it, you have to give an uncomfortable level of throttle. So the Gozer is not a body that is particularly good at self-righting, particularly when set up like this. So we're gonna give him a little help. That's not terrible. That amount of scoot, kind of what we're used to seeing. We'll see if we can deploy one on purpose. No, we're gonna rock crawl out of it. Yeah, that width, the 59 width, what did we get, 57? Like that's the flip point usually. You know, we barely even get through flex. Maybe we can flop him the other way. No, we are gonna have to go, Yeah, that's the usual landing point. So we do the steer to the sky reverse and the steer to the ground forward. The steer to the ground forward is wild. I think, and no, rescind. I was going to say that I think on a different body we would have something more, but like what, again, we bounce back again. What are you going to run these on? Like it has to be run on something like this. Your self-right score is going to be fair. At best, fair. Daphne's third was actually quite good. Self-right is right there. And I'm going to do about the same for the bump. Okay. Not as good as I had hoped for. Not as bad as I had anticipated. We've got surface transition and wet. My expectations are now fully tempered. And I think these will do modestly well here because definitely a PSI thing. The 133-ish millimeter height will get us through some chop. The big pillow of them. This is like, I mean, what are we thinking in terms of a contemporary tire? You can't get a Panther Cougar. I would recommend doing it if you can. This is going to be sort of in the same wheelhouse, like a lower height, 2.2 wide, like the big beach ball of the HPI Hot Bodies Rover. 2.2 Rovers are about 5 inches, 5 1/8 inches, something like that. This is an incomparable level of performance. Yeah, the HBs cost about twice as much. Do you get twice the performance? Yeah, relatively speaking, I would say yes. These tires are not terrible at this. But there's a little breakover point right here. Kind of gotta squeeze it through sideways. We're falling into a fairly unremarkably consistent level of scoring on these. Not terrible. Not great, not good. It's tough. Also, what are they for? What are these for? I'm desperately trying to arrive at a conclusion of what would I put, had I to fit these to something, what would I fit them to? And I honestly have no idea. All right, we've done the pre-math. We have 9 out of 10 in the books, on the card, whatever you want to call it. So realistically, the score of this falls below the recommended. All right. We do a little finger wipe adjustment. We'll bump that, and then we got to bump that 0.2. Yeah, whether this tire is dismally bad, and dismally bad is basically anything that has landed below a 90. Under no circumstances should you buy a tire that scores like an 87. There is a limited possibility, limited but not zero, that this tire lands below a 90. We are going to experience a drop-off in traction on wet. I'm almost sure of it. But here's the deal. Here's the dilly. What does that rear end swing look like? Come on, save it. The rear end swing looks exactly like it did when it was dry. This was the grand hope, the saving grace of the GMade Bighorn, was that the performance on wet would not be starkly, vastly different from the... Get it? Oh, you were close. Can we do it again? Can we do it again? There you go. There you go. This is, I mean, in terms of mediocrity, determinedly center cut mediocre. 91.6, which is kind of the dead zone, honestly. I don't actively recommend people buy tires that have scored lower than a 93. I try to stay, like, really 94, stay above a 94, really. So a 91.6 is in this nether zone, in between inexcusably bad, the tires that are sub 90, much less the tires that are 70s and 60s, but not really good enough. Not good enough. This is a tire that, I mean, still in my head trying to think, what would you put these on? Do you have a kid? Do they have a Stampede or an Armagorgon or something? Do you see where I'm going with this? Put some 2.0s on there, slap them on there. Probably be okay. Probably be okay. And cheap. I want to say they're 15, 16 bucks a pair, you know. And definitely better quality than when you're going to get in a pre-mount generic Amazon or AliExpress, air quotes, monster truck tire. I don't think that the GMade Bighorn is explicitly a rock crawling tire. It's not very good at it. It kind of shined the most where? Mushing on the dirt. You get good float out of it. Performance did not drop appreciably and wet. It's pretty much about the same. Yeah, I stand around it, and we pulled it in. The variance is now 4/10 because we bumped up the score on Slick Rock, because once we got a little, you know, the foam finds its way, gets a little settled in. We get that little bit of break in, like the tires sitting a little better. Every tire needs a little bit of time just to acclimate. The cold start going up Slick Rock asks a lot. But we're here to ask a lot because tires cost money and most of them don't return on investment, not to a level commensurate to the cost for the performance you get from them. These, I mean, a 91.6, I can't be aggressively mad at a 91.6 if they are what my memory says at about $15.99 a pair. So running on the foams that they came with, 16 bucks, you're talking $32 a set. Not awful. I wouldn't recommend for a rock crawler. I wouldn't say buy these. Spend an extra 20 bucks. It'll cost you an extra 20 bucks to outfit a rig with rovers. Even if you get white compound and not pinks. Pinks will cost more. The softer will cost more. But you can do, that's the end of the day, isn't it? A very different look, but an Endura pin will cost you $28 for the set. Will cost less than these. And if you're just looking at pure numbers, or if you're looking at rock crawling numbers, it's not close. I would have loved to have seen these at the very least above a 93. But we can't always get what we want. But if we try, sometimes we get what we need. And I don't think we need these. We don't want them nor need them. They are, I think they're going to be right in the middle in terms of the GMade pantheon. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that this will be an indication of the performance of the 1903s. I'm not sure that it will, but we can hope. We can hope. What do I hope? I hope to see you again real soon here from the Canyon. I thank you for joining us in this one. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I hope that in between now and then, you one and all do your very best to have a good one, everybody. We will see you again here from the Canyon real soon. Yella had one of those days. He didn't get that so egregiously bad that we're all somber about it. We're like, yeah, 32 bucks, looks like a monster truck tire, 91.6. The universe is sort of in alignment on this one. We will see you in the next one. We, meaning the collective, might be Yella, it might not be. We will see you in the next one. We thank you for joining us in this one. Have a good one, everybody.